Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Just to say thank you to all the subscribers, the likes and the comments, etc. All much appreciated, and if you're new to the channel then welcome. We got the W400 and the Kiwami4. So I'll link up some videos in the description, but basically I've done an unboxing where I showed the difference between the two, you know, the physical differences between the two, and I've done a video on Basecoat, which as I say, I'll put a link in the description so that you can find it easy enough. But this is the first one for Clearcoat, and I was originally going to do the Clearcoat the Clearcoat and the Basecoat with the Kiwami4, but I thought it'd probably be quite a good idea to do the base with the W400 just so that you can see that in action, and then the Kiwami4 for Clearcoat. So that's what I've done basically. So if you're looking just for the Kiwami4, it's about 6 minutes on, 6.5, 7 minutes on from the start. And you should find that, but we talk about both guns as we go along anyway. So this is another tank. It's an FJR tank, and I've done a few tanks for someone who does FJRs. And to cut a long story short, this is one of the knackered ones. It was rusted at the bottom, so I've ended up with it as a practice tank, so I can just play around with it and do what I want really, which is what I've done. So I'm putting some heat in. It's 16 degrees centigrade, which is, that one that's at home, about 62 Fahrenheit. So it's warm but not hot, if that makes sense. So I'm still putting a bit of heat in because it's best. I like the tanks around 20 to 25 degrees, because the base coat goes off nice and quick. You can get plenty of clear on, so it runs out nicely, etc, etc. So that's the reason I'm showing you the heating process. So start off with the W400. Then they've made, with the Kiwami and the W400, they've made a few changes to it. And if you look at my other videos, to cut a long story short, all the improvements, they've made it a bit lighter, they've made it slightly shorter in the nose. They've made the handle slightly longer, but the actual ergonomics of the grip is much better. I find anyway, sorry about that. I find it much better. So all the improvements, I think they're all physical rather than in the actual results of the thing, because you know the Bellaria has been a really good gun. And what I wanted to show with this is, as I say, I've got another video with it doing base coat on a really big bike tank, and this just shows you that it does clear coat just as well. Now, as I say, we're spraying with the W400, but the W400 sprays exactly the same as the Kiwami4. So if you've got the W400, it's not going to be worth uprating it to the Kiwami4 unless you know there's something wrong with it or there's a desperate need to do it, because you're not going to see an improvement in the finish. Basically it will finish just as well, which is very good. I mean, a very good spray gun, but the Kiwami4 will give you an improvement in feeling, and it just feels better to use, just feels nicer to use. So for a lot of people, particularly if, as I say, your old gun's wearing out and you're thinking of what to replace it with, because you can still get the W400, then the Kiwami1 is a really good place to start. As far as I know, they're only available at the moment in Japan. They've superseded the old model in Japan. So if you wanted to get one, you have to get them at the moment. Again, as I say, as far as I know, you have to get them from Japan. But you know, they are gettable, and they're as I say, they're a really good gun. But don't expect it to be like light years ahead of the W400, because it's just as good. It's not better, it's just as good. But they're a really good all-round gun. If you're thinking of buying either of these two, they are a really good all-round gun. You'll see this is the same. It's a 1.3. I'll put the gun settings at the start so that people know what settings I'm using. At the start of each gun I'll put the settings up. But they're both 1.3s. They've got effectively the same cap. The pitch of the thread is different. On the Kiwami4 they've made the pitch coarser. It's supposedly because you can get the cap off quicker to clean it. I personally think it's just to stop it being interchangeable with other things, really. Manufacturers do that. They do that to make you buy new things, really, I guess. And that's the only reason I can see. The actual cap, the actual internals of the cap look absolutely identical, and they spray absolutely identical. So as I say, I think that's just a marketing ploy to, you know, to make you buy new stuff. Was it what once I was at a bike show and there was a Kawasaki guy there, and I said, I can't remember what it was, I think it was discs, and I said, oh, you haven't put 2 discs on it? This was like years ago. And he said, well, no, he said, because we've got to have something to make people want to buy it next year. You know, so it's that sort of thing, you know. I think it's just they change things for change's sake, and it just makes your old cap's not interchangeable, so you have to buy a new cap or new gun or whatever. So I think that's basically the reason. But as I say, you're not going to notice any difference in finish. Both these guns are really, really capable of spraying Basecoat, and they're both really capable of spraying Clearcoat. So this is slowly becoming, I think, in my head anyway, my best all-round gun. I really like the GTI Pro lights, but with those, in an ideal world, you do need, like, well, I think you need a TE10 cap for base and a TE20 or a T110 if you want a really flat finish, but a TE20 for Clearcoat. You can use the TE10 for both, but it's just better the other way round, you know, the other way round. TE10 for base and the TE20 for clear. Whereas with the Bellaria and the Kiwami4, you literally, it doesn't matter. It performs really, really well on all of it, which is, to me, my way of thinking now. They're a good, reliable gun. They're not expensive. They're not cheap. You know, none of this stuff's cheap, really. But they're not expensive. They're, you know, you'd get like 2.5 of these for a SATA 5500. So they're not expensive as these things go, and they perform really, really well with everything. So if you were a guy thinking, I just want one spray gun, or I can only afford one spray gun, etc., I would recommend this probably above anything else now. I think the Kiwami4 in 1.3 would do it all, you know. I wouldn't use it for primer, but most people wouldn't use a base or clear gun for primer unless they had to, because, you know, you've got to clean the thing out, and it's just not, you don't really want to mix. In an ideal world, you want one for base, one for clear, but if you're like me, you're cleaning things out each time you use them, then it's not a problem. So this is the Kiwami1 now, and you'll see how well it's laying the clear coat on. I've got a more high definition little video at the end, and you'll see, I can't remember whether we've actually got to it or not yet, but you'll see where I started a little bit, just there actually, because you saw me going back to the bench, and I missed the first 5 or 6 strokes off because I forgot, you know, you take the camera off to let the clear run out and get tacky, and I went back to start spraying without putting the camera back on my head. But anyway, such is life. But so here we are, guys, finished the article. The high definition video is coming up in a minute, and I think you'll agree it's a pretty good finish. If you're after a flat finish, not everybody's after a flat finish, but, you know, I mean, this is pretty flat, isn't it? And a really, really good gun. I paid about £175, I think, for this without a cup. About 220 GB pounds with a cup, which is about 280 US. About 310 euros, I think, 320 euros. Couldn't ask for more, really. Would do virtually everything. So thoroughly recommended. As I say, I think this is actually replacing the GTI Pro Light in my head as being a favourite gun. Certainly as a one gun does all. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, guys. As I say, thanks for the subscriptions and the likes, etc. Keep the comments coming. I try and answer them if I can. It's only a small channel, so there's normally time to do it. But anyway, it's all appreciated. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.